Uncharted is the latest film from director Reuben Fleischer. I like Reuben Fleischer when it comes to like Zombieland or 30 Minutes or Less, but I'm not a big fan of Venom, his last film to my knowledge. I didn't think that turned out very good, so I was definitely interested to see what he could do with Uncharted, and oh my gosh, I'll get into it. So for those of you who don't know, Uncharted is based on the video games. It's a really phenomenal video game series. I'm a huge fan. I actually think they're some of the most innovative video games in video game history. I'm addicted to them. I love them. I can't stop playing them. I think they're fantastic. So when the trailer came out for this film, I was like, oh wow, I mean, this looks really good. I actually didn't mind the casting choices at all. I knew that it was kind of Hollywood, so I didn't think that they were going to go exact. I knew that they were going to kind of differentiate a little bit from the adaptation in the games, and I was fine with it. I was like, okay, this could be a lot of fun as long as they stick with the core things that make Uncharted Uncharted. And for those of you who don't know anything about Uncharted, I mean, we basically follow Nathan Drake on adventures. He's like a historian slash treasure hunter, and it's a lot of fun to play as him in the games. He's kind of like an Indiana Jones, but a little bit more contemporary. The stories themselves are different than Indiana Jones as well, because we basically do find Nathan Drake in more action-packed scenarios than you would in the Indiana Jones movies, because Nathan Drake, he finds himself in war zones sometimes. I mean, it's interesting the way that these stories turn out, and I like that Nathan Drake has a consistency to his character, which is something that Indiana Jones does not have. I mean, you could be playing those games for about 2 to 3 hours before you beat them, probably longer. I found myself constantly sucked into that story. I love kind of following Nathan Drake on his adventures in all the games. I mean, it's all really fantastic stuff. Upon seeing the trailer, a lot of people really did not like the casting choices here. Everybody was kind of complaining about Tom Holland right off the bat as Nathan Drake, and Tom Holland actually does a fantastic job as Nathan Drake. He really gives an amazing performance. He's showing once again that he could be a leading man. He's wonderful. I enjoyed watching him throughout the entirety of the movie. Let me just get that out of the way. Tom Holland was great. He's a great younger Nathan Drake. He really had me smiling through a lot of the movie because he really gave off the attitude that I would want from a Nathan Drake, and he has that presence. Physically, the things he does in this movie are great too. He really does great stunt work on his own, and it's really fun to watch. We do get Nathan Drake young in the games as well, in Uncharted 3 in particular, and they do take liberties with that. I knew that they probably wouldn't stick with a straight adaptation of the games. I knew that they would make their own adaptation of it, and I was fine with that, honestly. I didn't really mind them going out of their way to do something different. That wasn't an issue to me. Mark Wahlberg plays Sully, and he's not as good of a Sully as Tom Holland is a Nathan Drake in the film, but it's still pretty good. Like, I had fun watching him. I thought he was entertaining at least. I mean, he's playing Mark Wahlberg. I mean, to be honest with you, that's basically it, but it's like with writing that would come from Sully, and honestly, it worked out. I thought him and Holland had really good chemistry on screen together. I thought that they worked in this movie very well. Antonio Banderas is the villain here, and I honestly was not huge on him in this movie. Not the acting so much, just the feel of the villain. While it's okay for them to add like a new villain to the franchise, like, you need to make him feel a little bit Uncharted, and they kind of failed to do that, honestly. The writing of the villain did not feel Uncharted to me at all, and that's where I really had the struggle. It was not him as an actor, just the writing of the villain. I thought that came off pretty weak in the film, to be honest with you. The action sequences are done really well, though. I mean, the cinematography is great. It's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, they're really cool action sequences, and a lot of it does feel like it's coming directly from an Uncharted game, so I can't really complain too much about that. But it feels like they came up with a bunch of action sequences that they wanted to go shoot, and as they were shooting them, they kind of narratively figured out how to string it all together. You can kind of feel like this movie is making it up as it goes, and I think it failed miserably on that end. This movie is not fun to watch. The Uncharted games are fun. This movie is not fun. I don't mind that they wanted to adapt it differently a little bit, but you got to keep the core elements of what makes Uncharted. I mean, plain and simple, that's all you got to do, and they really failed on that front, and this movie really irritated me throughout watching it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was 100% disappointed with this. I had to question like how this was cohesive at all. Like how somebody looked at this and said, this movie works cohesively. It's really irritating when you see this because it's so boring. I was falling asleep at parts. This movie, it doesn't really play. It just doesn't play. It doesn't have that sense of wonder that the Uncharted games have. It feels like a bunch of scenes that were strung together and nobody was worried about the narrative. They were just kind of like, let's figure that out later. Come on. I mean, can we do better for an Uncharted movie? There's so much stuff there that you could use. And to me, I almost wish they did stick a little bit more with the source material because of how this movie turned out. And it's scary. It's scary to me that this is what Hollywood is turning out right now. There's a few plot twists in here. Some of them feel very Uncharted, I'll give them that. But one of them, I laughed out loud in my seat. I couldn't believe that they were going for it. It was so bad, so terrible. Oh my gosh, it was bad. It was awful. Guys, oh God, oh God. So Uncharted, right? Tom Holland's amazing in the movie. He is. He's so much fun to watch. He's the only reason this movie's watchable. Mark Wahlberg plays off of him very well. He's not in the movie as much as he probably should have been, though. Cinematography's great. Action scenes are great. Antonio Banderas is a weak villain. All the villains are weak. All the side characters are weak. It's really kind of hard to get attached to them. There are moments in here with high stakes where something bad would be happening to somebody, and I was just like, well, I didn't care. Honestly, this movie gives you no reason to care, and it scares me for the people that haven't played the games going into this. They don't really give you a lot of reason to care about any of the characters, honestly. There's barely a reason. But this narrative is just, again, what really brings it down. It's a shitty narrative. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really not good. It kind of goes into 100 different directions. It's a complete mess. I did not have a good time watching this, guys. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Guys, if you were gonna go see Uncharted this weekend, please save your money. I'm gonna give Uncharted a no-go. Guys, if you saw Uncharted this weekend, let me know what you thought. Did you like it? Did you have the same problems I did? Did you want it to be better? Did you think it was perfectly fine? Whatever you thought, let me know in the comment section below. And please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section below, share this with your friends, and hit the bell for notifications. I've been Martino. This has been another review, and we'll see you guys later.